Today I'm going to talk to you about the 6 questions that you need to be sure you ask a agency before you hire them to do your home study. Hi, I'm Stephanie A. Just in case we haven't had an opportunity to meet yet, I wanted to let you know that I am the Executive Director of Adoption and Beyond. We work with expecting and adoptive families by providing them support and education from pregnancy to placement and beyond. The first one is, are they licensed? That is so important that you choose to work with a licensed child placing agency to do your home study. And I'm going to talk about why that's important at the end of this video. So the first one is make sure that they're licensed in your state that you live. Number 2, what is the process and how long does it take? That's key. It's important to know that the process is going to be different from agency to agency. Believe it or not, there's a vast difference between agencies and the process that you go through. Now, the information that they gather and the report itself is pretty much going to most likely be the same. Well, let me take that back. I've seen some pretty bad home studies that are only like 4 or 5 pages long, where ours is 20 pages long, and we get complimented all the time from courts to other agencies how thorough our home studies are. So how the process works is different from agency to agency, but the paperwork they're gathering and their information putting into the report is going to be vastly similar. But as I just mentioned, the writing of the report will be different. So looking for a licensed agency, you know that you're going to get probably a 20-page report versus a 4 to 5 page report. And also just knowing how long this is going to take, because by the time you get to the home study process, you are ready to go. You are ready to have a baby from yesterday. So you don't want to spend a lot of time waiting to get your home study done. So just know how long the process is going to take. And just know that the majority of the time, the process that the home study takes is really dependent on you and how quickly you gather the paperwork together. I can't tell you enough how a majority of the time rests in your hands. So it's really hard to do the paperwork. I'm not going to lie, it's a lot. So just, get yourself in there, get it done, get it knocked out, and that will help speed up the process of your home study. Number 3, what are all the fees and what do they include? So it's important to know that not only, actually, I want to say this, what fees are you paying to the agency and what fees are you paying to a third party? And what I mean by third party is that there's going to be other fees that you're going to have to do, such as getting your background checks, child abuse checks, National Sex Offender Registry checks, education, those kind of things. Those are going to be things that are paid to a third party. So be sure you get what all the fees are, not only the home study, but also what are called the post-adoption visits, which is what the agency is going to do after you receive your baby and before your adoption is finalized. So make sure you know what all the fees are from very beginning, so you can avoid any hidden fees that they may not be transparent about. And a lot of times they don't tell you about the third party fees, so be careful of that. 4th, find out where they are. Are they local? Are they not? What areas do they cover? So like, for example, here in Kansas City, we're located in Kansas City, but we cover the entire states of Kansas and the entire states of Missouri. So whether you're out in Western Kansas or whether you're in St. Louis, we cover it all. So find out what the areas they cover and make sure that they cover the area that you live within. Number 5 is, do they provide adoption education? This is really important that you receive adoption education, because I can tell you, hands down, families who have adoption education, the adoption process is going to go a lot smoother for them. And actually, I might just dare say even quicker for families. So find out where they provide education. I mean, just here recently, I was working with a family and I was following up with them post-adoption just to see how they were doing with the little one. And she was asking me questions about they adopted transracially, so they're asking questions about, rude comments and how to handle certain situations. And I was just really perplexed because we provide a lot of education. And then I realized we didn't do their home study, just their post-adoption reports. And so I'm like, that makes sense. That's why you're asking these questions post-adoption. Whereas if they had the education while they were going through the home study, they wouldn't have been struggling how to deal with these intrusive questions or comments post-adoption. So education, I promise you, is really there to benefit you and to benefit your child, not just something to harass you with. The sixth item is find out whether the agency knows about ICPC, which is also called Interstate Compact for the Protection of Children. You also can hear it called just Interstate Compact. So you'll hear those words interchanged with each other. So if they're a licensed agency, chances are they're going to know about ICPC. And the reason this is important is because when you work with a licensed child placing agency, not all, but most, your home study is going to be good in all 50 states. And it's going to be able to get you through the Interstate Compact. And so what Interstate Compact is that when you adopt a child out of state, each state has to talk to each other. And they do that through what's called the Interstate Compact, just to make sure the adoption was done legally and ethically and all the steps were done to meet each state's adoption laws before you bring your child home. So it's really key and important that when you choose an agency to do your home study, that they're familiar with ICPC and that your home study will be good in all 50 states. So if they don't even know what ICPC is, just say, okay, thank you for your time and hang up the phone and move on to the next agency, because you're going to have a very difficult time if they don't know what Interstate Compact is. So I hope you found today's video helpful, and I just thank you for joining me, and just rest assured you are in the right place to build your family through adoption in your own unique way. Thanks again. Bye.